Hey there and welcome back. I've been talking to many of you making plans to come visit Spokane this summer, and so I wanted to make a video of all the things that are going on here in Spokane this summer that are yearly traditions, things you can plan your trips around. Maybe you're coming on a specific weekend that a major event is happening, or maybe you want to plan your time here in Spokane around a major event so you can really get a good feel of what the community is like in the area. So here's a list of some of the major events going on this spring, summer, some major places that you should plan on visiting while you're here in the area, and basically just kind of a basic roadmap of what you should look forward to doing while you're here for a few days in Spokane between looking at houses. Let's get into this video. All right, so if your trip is coming up here in the springtime, there's a few things that are going on in Spokane around that time. So I'm gonna, in this video, give you one specific events and dates and when those happen, and you can put them in your calendar. And then there'll also be a section in which I say, okay, now you're here, here's 5 other things that you should go check out. So if you're coming here this spring, well, the major event that I would have recently recommended was Bloomsday, our 7.5 mile race, but we just completed that here in the last week. And so that's something you can do after you move here, or try it again next year. But that's kind of our first big community event that launches us into springtime here in Spokane. 30 to 40,000 people all downtown participating in this one major race. The next major event that happens is the Lilac Festival. So the Lilac Festival is something that helps us celebrate our city flower here in Spokane, which we are known as the Lilac City. So since 1938, the Spokane Lilac Association has been putting on this festival to commiserate springtime and our local community. And the culmination of this week-long celebration is the Armed Forces Torchlight Parade celebrating our military folks as well. So there really is a full week of different events that go on, like a brew fest, there's a gala, however you say that, an art show, a car show, all these things. The town gets basically painted in purple, there's signs everywhere, and then this starts in the second week of May and ends in the third week of May, right when the lilacs are in full bloom here, which then I will tell you where to go check out those lilacs here in a minute. But then the parade on the third Saturday of the month brings 150,000 people into downtown Spokane to watch this really long parade. It's like 2+ hours long. You get to see all of the high schools in the greater Spokane area and beyond bring their marching bands, tons of parade floats, all this kind of stuff. So this one's a huge community event that pushes us into the spring and summer as well. All right, the next event doesn't happen until June, but this would be Art Fest, which happens in the first week of June each year. And this year it's June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And this event is put on by our Museum of Arts and Culture. And so I've personally been going to this one for years, especially because they have a lot of live music, and I'm a musician myself, so my bands will often play. And we are this year. So if you're in town that first weekend of June, let me know. You can swing by and see my band play. But Art Fest has been doing this for 38 years, and so this is another amazing Inland Northwest family tradition here in the area. Artists from all over our community and beyond come together and present their art, and then you also get access to go check out some of the exhibits that are going on in the Museum of Art and Culture, which is actually a beautiful building and in one of the neighborhoods that I'll be mentioning here in just a moment. Our fourth event of the spring and summertime is Hoopfest, which Hoopfest is the largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the entire world. So if you are a basketball player or a basketball fan, then it makes sense to come during that time because you'll get to watch a ton of games. But Hoopfest has been going on for 31 years, and looking at their numbers from 2019, they had 24,000 players from 44 different states coming to Spokane to compete in this competition. They shut down 45 city blocks, and over 3,000 volunteers are needed to run the event. So it is absolutely massive. It's super cool. And then if you're not into basketball, it's just cool to go down there because it's another opportunity to go take advantage of all the cool food trucks and everything that we have here in Spokane, and just see the community all in one area. All right, next up would be the 4th of July, which is big for any city in America, but 4th of July in Spokane can be very cool if you're going downtown. Again, all the food trucks and vendors are going to be down in Riverfront Park, so you can check out that area. You're going to see fireworks being blown off in Riverfront Park, and then it's an opportunity to actually see the Spokane Symphony, which I'll talk a little bit more about here in a minute. But the Spokane Symphony will put on a performance, and as well as usually the Spokane Jazz Orchestra is putting on some form of like funk band cover band, and they have a huge stage as well. So 4th of July is pretty epic event here in downtown Spokane. But then you can also go find a spot in the high ground and then watch fireworks being blown off all over the city from the different fireworks shows that are going on. There are 2 more major events that you should know about if you're going to plan a trip here to Spokane this summer. The next one is Crave Northwest. So Crave Northwest is the largest culinary event in Spokane. It is basically where all of the best chefs, best restaurants in Spokane come together in one spot. They have a booth and they're serving these like mini trays, mini plates, sampling all their food and all this kind of stuff. And so you can buy a ticket. So you basically just spend a few hours there eating and drinking pretty much from every restaurant. So if you really want to know what the food and drink culture is like here in Spokane, this is an awesome festival to do that. It's 3 days long. I think you can just buy 1-day pass or a 3-day pass if you really want to do the whole experience. So if you really want to just get an immersion of what the Spokane food scene is like, then Crave Northwest is absolutely the best event to do that. And then speaking of food, we have another event over the Labor Day weekend called Pig Out in the Park. So this is a major event that's been going on for 42 plus years, and I would say Crave Northwest is to know what like the restaurant culture is like, but Pig Out in the Park is where you just go to get fair style food, but some of the restaurants will have booths as well. But I think there's something like 250 different menu items, 50 different food booths, tons of public market booths. The cool part about it that the name doesn't really give away is that it's really like a 5-day music festival for local music here in Spokane. There's over 100 concerts that go on in the 5-day period with all local musicians. And so if you want to hear a bunch of local bands in one place, Art Fest is a great way to do that, but also Pig Out in the Park is an awesome place to just go listen to a bunch of live music from the Spokane area. I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is over the Labor Day weekend, and it is a 6-day festival. It starts before the weekend and goes all the way through Monday, Labor Day. So you will have plenty of opportunities to eat a ton of food at this festival. All right, so getting away from some of the specific dates on when you should plan on being here in Spokane, there's some places that I had mentioned in those that are really important that you should plan on visiting no matter when you come to town. So the first one that I always recommend is Riverfront Park, which you are going to see if you come to most of those events. If you come for Hoopfest, 4th of July, Bloomsday, Pig Out in the Park, all of those are in Riverfront Park. And so then you just want to take advantage of the cool aspects of Riverfront Park. You want to go see the pavilion. If you have little kids, maybe you want to go do the carousel. You can do the gondola sky ride, but then you should also cross the street and go down into Huntington Park so you can actually walk down to the waterfall, because Spokane has like the 2nd largest inner city waterfall in all of America. It's crazy how much water it pushes through. Right now, it can fill like an Olympic-sized swimming pool in a matter of 30 seconds or something. That's how much water is being pushed through the river right now. So it is quite an experience to go down there. So Riverfront Park is absolutely somewhere that you should check out. Next up, a really cool neighborhood that you'll probably stop through is Brown's Addition. Brown's Addition is one of the original neighborhoods for Spokane, tons of historical homes. But you're going to see that neighborhood if you go to Art Fest, because the Museum of Arts and Culture is down there. Coeur d'Alene Park is down there. It's a nice area to hang out in. And then it's just a really walkable area. You can work your way down to People's Park along the river and then cross the bridge and go up to Kendall Yards. You can walk into downtown from there. So it is, if you are in downtown Spokane, it's a very walkable place to go and get a new scenery. And then you can stop by some of the cool restaurants there, like Elk's Public House, LQ. Then it really wouldn't be a trip to Spokane without visiting Manitou Park. So Manitou Park is really known for having multiple different gardens and being really beautiful for that reason. They have different perennial gardens, rose gardens, Japanese gardens, and then there's a lilac garden as well. And so obviously lilacs don't actually bloom for that long, so hopefully you'll be visiting sometime in the spring here. But if you've moved to Spokane in next fall or something, or over the winter, then know that in early to mid-spring, that's when you should go visit the lilac gardens in Manitou and really get to take advantage of that beauty. All right, then the next 2 are a little bit more of a drive out of town, but totally worth it. So first I would visit Green Bluff, and there maybe is a time in which it makes the most sense for you depending on what you want to get. But Green Bluff is just a location northeast of Spokane a little bit. And it's just full of different you-pick farms. And so like one of the most famous is Beck's Harvest House. And so that's where you can go really on a weekly basis if you want and just get most of your produce there of any sort. But they're really the most famous in July for their peach picking because the peaches are insanely good there. And then they get really crazy busy in the fall when people want to go pick their pumpkins and get their famous pumpkin donuts. So I don't think as many people go in the summer time when the fruit is actually really amazing, but the line gets insane in October when pumpkin season is around. People want their fall photos with their pumpkin spice lattes, that kind of stuff. So go during the summer, get some amazing fresh produce. Another farm up there that I'll give a shout out to is Wildland Co-op. They're a newer farm up there, but they do their own wine, beer, and their own vegetables as well. And that one's a very cool, very fun indie kind of farm to go to that I would highly recommend. And then if you're up that way, it's totally worth to just continue the drive to Mount Spokane. And in the summertime, you can actually drive to the very top of Mount Spokane and park up there. And then you can just stand on the top of the mountain and have a 360 view of the entire inland Northwest. You can see like 7 lakes from the very top. You can do some hiking and backpacking up there if you want to, but it is really just a cool visual experience because you're just getting to the very tip of the mountain and you can just see for miles and miles and miles. And so it is pretty crazy. And if you wanted another view recommendation, look up the Rocks of Sharon. You will have to hike this one. It's a little bit steep, so it is a hardy hike to go on, but the Rocks of Sharon are south of Spokane, south of the Dishman Hills area, and that one's a very cool view because you're looking out over the Palouse, which is completely flat, so you can see basically as far as the eye can see. It's pretty likely that there will be an Indians baseball game going on. This is very much a staple in Spokane as they are playing all the time. It's pretty affordable to go. I hear if you're a client of the Halsted Hometeam, there are VIP front row seats that are available, so just hit me up. But the baseball game is a great time, great family event to go to, and so I would definitely check that out because there's probably a game going on while you're visiting. And then if you have a chance, whether you're here for 4th of July, Labor Day, or maybe just lucky enough that the Spokane Symphony is playing while you're here, then I would absolutely check them out. I think we're very lucky to be a mid-sized city with a really great symphony and a professional symphony. And so you can definitely see them on the 4th of July, as I already mentioned, but then you can also see them on Labor Day while you're here for Pig Out in the Park, because they will do a summer concert at Comstock Park. They set up this massive stage in the middle of the park, and they do the same thing at Pavilion Park in Liberty Lake. So that's kind of my big list of things that I would definitely check out if you're planning a trip here over the spring or the summer. Pick which one sounds the best to you. There will be links in the description to the different events that I talked about, so you can put it in your calendar, buy the tickets needed, all that kind of stuff. And if you have questions about any of them, then please don't hesitate to call, text, or email me. And while you're at it, I would love to be your real estate resource here in Spokane, Washington. I'm a realtor in the area. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to let me know or use the link down in the description to schedule a meeting directly on my calendar at a time that's convenient for you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.